Andrew, let me know when we're going to go live so I can do the introduction.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I think we're just about live and double check on the
all good.
public
Just
preview.
for everyone who's in the competition Zoom call right now, we are going to begin live streaming on YouTube. And so I'm going to make a brief introduction so that our live streaming audience knows what's going on. For the next 15 minutes, we will have a special guest, and then we will jump into round 2 at around 3:25 p.m. All right. So Andrew, whenever you give me the sign, I will kick off the insert.
We're all good. We're live on YouTube.
Right now. Okay. Welcome everyone to the 5th annual Hult Prize at FIU Social Entrepreneurship Competition. It is with much excitement that I officially kick off this year's competition day, and we welcome everyone that's joining us live on YouTube. We have over 70 student participants in this year's Hult Prize, and we've already gone through round 1, where each student team has pitched for 6 minutes and received thorough Q&A from judges. Right now, next slide, please. If you're following us on social media, you're going to be sharing today's moments. Make sure to tag us. Our hashtag is Hult Prize at FIU or hashtag HP21. This is a global movement, so I'm sure you're going to connect with people all around the world that are also competing in this year's Hult Prize. On this note, I want to pass it over to one of our amazing team members, Arki. And he is also a participant of Hult Prize, I believe 2019, correct, Arki?
2018 and 2019.
Correct, 2 years. So Arki, on that note, I am passing it over to you now.
Thank you, Danny. And joining me for this short Q&A is going to be someone who was actually my teammate in the 2018 competition, Yashaswita Padilla. And can we go to her introduction slide, please? So Yashi was a competitor with me in the 2018 Hult Prize. And so together we were part of the 10,000 Youth Unemployment Challenge, where we sought to create jobs for young people in underdeveloped countries. And so she's gonna talk a little bit about our idea and how it all went. So Yashi, are you there?
Yeah. Hey everyone. So good to be here, and thank you for having me.
All right. So Yashi, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your idea was and how was the experience at Hult at FIU?
Yeah, so Hult at FIU, I'm just gonna start like chronologically. It was great. It was amazing. It was the most influential college experience I've had so far. And it really explains a lot of what came after in my life. Like you can literally trace the origins of a lot of great things in my life to Hult. I came to know about Hult through just like hanging out at StartUP FIU. And I decided I wanted to participate because we do this thing on Wednesdays called Hacker Nation. And we were talking about Hult, and Arki really was passionate about agriculture. So there we go, the power of surrounding yourself with people who are super like entrepreneurial and want to solve problems. So yeah, a lot of this, yay, Andrew, yes. And the experience was phenomenal. It's crazy how much whatever I learned, from pitching to financials to thinking in terms of first principles and being able to think about assumptions, being passionate about problem solving, how a lot of what I'm learning right now and applying in my life right now comes from that foundation. And for context, I'm currently working at an impact investment firm here in Miami. And I'm an analyst, so we keep hearing a bunch of pitches. And it's crazy to think about how much of what I'm hearing right now I can compare all of that to what we were learning in Hult. And because we were taught so fundamentally, it's like sometimes you listen to entrepreneurs and you're like, yes, FIU students were taught to think the same way as you're thinking right now. So yeah, it's beautiful. And in terms of our idea, and this was way more archy than me, but we were trying to solve the problem of unemployment, and we were targeting India. So specifically, we were trying to help rural Indian communities get out of a loop of continuous cyclical unemployment, because farming was the primary profession, and there were a lot of systemic issues. And yeah, we went through the same process as most of you all of you participants here. And just one more thing I would like to add in terms of my experience in Hult would be, I used to think that the competition day is going to be the day, and it's going to be like, okay, here's where we finally but interestingly enough, it ended up being more of a start to a lot of other things rather than just an end to a competition. So I know a lot of you all have pitched already, and I know you've spent like an entire semester working on all of these ideas and developing your solutions. And it's easy to think that the semester is ending, so Hult Prize, we're participating, we're pitching, and this competition is ending. But at least for me, it was really the start for something way bigger. And I kept working on my idea, and I'm still working on it.
Sure. So, Yashi, so I believe beyond just FIU, you also competed at the Boston Regionals of the following year, yeah? So
Yeah.
one of the things that we try and stress to the students is that your idea evolves over time as you work on it. So do you want to speak a little bit about your experience when it came to working your idea and how it goes from at FIU to how it is at Boston?
Boston is phenomenal. The people you meet, the exposure you get, the thrill of being able to represent your university, the belief that everyone has in you, the amount of work that goes into it, and not just you. It was easy. We were working with Bob, we were working with Emily, we were working with Andrew, we were working with everyone at StartUP. Everyone was so invested in us. You learn so much in just prepping for Boston. It is absolutely transformational. In terms of Boston itself, I think one of my biggest value that I derived out of it was really seeing people from over the country come together to pitch their ideas, and being able to see, like, it's like you see people from universities that you keep hearing names of, like you'll see people from Harvard present their idea, and you hear that, and suddenly you think, oh wow, we can do that too. Like, yes, I don't go to Harvard, yes, I am not an Ivy League student, but I am just smart as any other kids out there. So I think that to me was beautiful. It really instilled in me a different kind of confidence. And the second thing I would say is the people you meet and the relationships you can build out of the people you meet in Boston. The judges were incredible. There were deans from amazing colleges. There were amazing entrepreneurs. There were people who had been in the entrepreneurship space for 50 years, and they were all willing to talk to you, help you learn, become better. So the people is the other definitely amazing part about Boston. So yeah, that's about Boston. And in terms of prepping for Boston, I think if I were to pinpoint what exactly about my whole journey was so transformational, it was that phase. It was that phase between it was that phase when we were prepping for pitching in Boston. We learned a lot. I think I started from knowing nothing about how do you even build a financial model, or how do you think about unit economics, to building those things. So yeah, it's beautiful.
Awesome. So one of the things that you mentioned is how Hult sort of impacted your life and how it is that it kind of changed your trajectory. So can you talk a little bit about projects that you're interested in now and sort of how Hult broadened those horizons for you?
Yeah, for sure. In terms of Hult changing my life, I'm just going to start with something so subtle. I think in terms of my friends, the best friends that I have now are the people I met on my Hult journey. And usually, I know we don't tend to associate competitions with friendships, but like Arki, I met you because of Hult, or like we became friends because of Hult. I met Paula because of Hult. I became close friends with Danielle. Like most people that I am such amazing friends with, and I treasure with all my heart, they're my friends because of Hult. So yes, it's beautiful. And in terms of how it has impacted my life and my current projects, so as we said, our project was to work with Indian rural communities, and it never stopped. Like right now, I am working with someone I met because of Hult in India, who was working with farmers on the ground. And now I'm trying to build a education platform for kids that we're trying to work with during Hult. So in terms of projects, I just don't think it ever stops. I also think the internship that I'm currently doing, I don't know what I would do here if I didn't know, if I didn't understand entrepreneurship. And I don't know how I would understand entrepreneurship so well without actually doing it, because I'm all about, and as we talk about at StartUP all the time, I'm all about learning by doing. And I think that learning by doing is something that Hult really teaches you a lot. I'm just really grateful. Sorry, I know I'm smiling too much. I'm just so excited to be talking about this.
It's completely fine. So Yashi, as you know, in just a little bit, we're going to get started with our final pitches. So what words of wisdom do you have for the teams that are selected to go on to like ease their nerves? But more importantly, what words do you have for the people who maybe are not selected, but can still continue working on their projects to really make a difference?
Yeah, well, I don't think my words are different for whoever wins and whoever loses. It's the same thing. I just really want to say, you guys have put so much work, so much effort, so much into coming to where you've come right now. And regardless of the outcome, I don't think the outcome matters. We never won in Boston, but the project didn't end, right? I don't think the outcome is what defines your progress. What defines your progress is how much you learned in this journey. So I'm sure you've met incredible people, you've made incredible friendships. I'm sure you've had incredible mentors throughout this process. So yeah, just love it and like really appreciate it, and believe in yourself. When you're pitching, you're not pitching for judges. You're not pitching. You are amazing, and all you have to do is show the world how amazing you are. And the judges are not here to tell you whether or not you're amazing, because you really are. You just are, you know? So just believe in yourselves, and I'm sure you guys are going to do great. And it's so easy to hear someone say that, oh, it's going to be easy, because I know I'm pitching just 2 years back, and I know it's tough to be in that spot, and I'm sure you're nervous. But something that helps, two things that helped me, one was breath. You breathe deeply, it shows, it helps you really feel calm. Two, I think it was Andrew Pompa who told me sometime that the chemicals for when you're feeling anxious versus when you're feeling excited are the same. So when you're feeling anxious, tell yourself, oh, I'm super excited. and you'll trick your brain into it. So yeah, just do that. Just tell yourself you're great and you're excited for doing this, and you're gonna do great.
Awesome. So I think let's get a big round of clap emojis on Zoom for Yashi. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
And then,
Arki.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
turn it over
Yashi, for
to
joining
Danny.
us.
I'm sorry, Danny, what was that?
Oh, I just said thank you.
Anytime.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So we're about to jump into round 2. We had let me know who's going to be sharing the screen. Go ahead and pull it up. So for round 2, we were in 3 pitching rooms, and the judges were asked to select the top team from each of the rooms. All right. So on that note, the next round 2 will consist of, we're going to be announcing the finalists, and then that team will go ahead and pitch for 6 minutes. And then we will have 5 minutes from Q&A from the judges. All right. So who's sharing the screen? Hey, I think we've done extremely smoothly with so many people on Zoom and breakout rooms. All right, I guess I'm gonna share my screen.
Do you have it pulled up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I guess we'll see what the teams are gonna decide. Once we announce, let me see. All right, ready? So can everyone see my screen? I don't know where everyone went. Everyone disappeared on my end.
Yeah, if you can't hear us, we can.
Yes,
we
perfect. I
we
can
see
hear
it.
you.
Yes,
All right. So round 2 of team pitches will begin now. And our first finalist, in no particular order, is Team Dates with Alexandra, Ken, and Tatiana.
Hi. Thank you so much. I'm really excited.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I did not expect that. Thank you so much, guys.
Let us know if you would like to share your screen, or would you like us to pull it up for you?
I can share it again.
Okay, perfect. You should have permission to share right now, Alex.
Okay, thank you.
Before you get started, don't forget to put my screen as a pin on yours so that you can have the timer in your screen, since there's a lot more people in here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Kat, and my classmates Alex and Quinn. We are Team Dates. It's an acronym that stands for Diabetics Alternative Taste Enhanced Sugar Substitute. Next slide. Sugar is addictive. Next slide. Sugar is also widely available and very cheap. Next slide. In the US alone, diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death, and averaging per person a day, they take in about 126 grams of sugar. Next slide. Poor, lower income people often have fewer resources, meaning sugar offers an inexpensive option, but it is an unhealthy option. Next slide. 34 million people live in poverty. They only have access to sugar and processed foods. Next slide. Artificial sweeteners are another form of synthetic sugar. However, dates offers a healthier alternative option. Next slide.
And our solution to this problem is creating our own date syrup. We will harvest dates using fair trade agreements with local farmers and come up with a safe diabetic alternative. Next slide. We will source our dates from the south of Lebanon, which has some of the highest quality of dates and the highest nutrient quality. Next slide.
So we've been speaking with the Lebanese documentarian Anthony Rahel, and he told us that in the southern Lebanese region, we're able to purchase the dates for 68 cents per pound, and each farm is able to grow about 1 million pounds of dates per year.
And dates are healthier because their glycemic index is 42 compared to sugar, which is 100, and that's the highest you can go. Dates also have the properties of polyphenols, flavonoids, and antioxidants, which have been shown to protect your cells from damage and also lower your blood glucose levels. Next slide. In comparison with other popular sweeteners out there, syrups, as you can see, dates have one of the highest levels in micronutrients that are required for your daily intake. Next slide.
So our business model, we're going to be starting by establishing our brand with a product line of syrup, sugar, and paste. Around year 8 through 10, we're going to be funneling this money into a testing lab to create an educational certification program so customers will know about the products that they buy if they are either 0 sugar added or if the only sugar added is our date sweeteners. And the early adopters for our company are going to be diabetics, those that are health conscious, and vegans. And we're going to be using a wholesale drop ship shipping model. So we're going to be sending from our plants in Egypt and Northern Africa because we want to diversify the risk. So we'll be sending directly from those manufacturing plants to grocery stores, coffee shops, bars, and restaurants.
And these are the first couple cities that we'll target in the first 2 years. In each one of these cities, there are known food deserts in the surrounding area where low-income people do not have access to healthy food, or they are marketed very highly processed sugared foods. Next slide. And these cities are also known to be very influential in terms of just the healthy market. And from their influence, we hope that this creates a trickle-down effect in order to spread throughout the country. Next slide.
So then when we go to Boston, we're going to be entering food deserts like Dorchester, Roxbury, Jamaica Plain, Chelsea, and Lynn. And then we're going to be coming down to Miami because Latinos and Latinas are genetically predisposed to diabetes.
And here we have our cost of goods. So we will be selling our syrup for $7 and it costs us $3.19 to make it. Next slide. And here are our projected models. In our first year, we'll have 21,000 units. And by year 7, we aim to have a profit of $4 million, which is about 2% of the current sugar market. Next slide.
So then for the grant money, we're going to be taking 10% and using that for sourcing the dates in Southern Lebanon. 25% will go towards manufacturing, and that includes sourcing manufacturing plants. We're going to be using 25% for our marketing launch campaign on the coastal cities of the United States. 300,000 will go to labor, and what I'm most excited about is the medical study. So we're going to be partnering with something like Cleveland Clinic or Johns Hopkins, Harvard, to be able to really donate $100,000 to test the relationship between diabetics and dates and prove that our products are healthy to be used in moderation by them.
And these are the sustainable goals that we aim to accomplish with our date syrup line. Next slide. And we believe that dates has the potential to provide a better life for both farmers and consumers alike. Thank you.
So we'll be moving into a Q&A session for 4 more minutes. Obviously, the judges who are in the room obviously may have gotten their questions out, but there's an opportunity for the other judges to go ahead and ask those questions.
I'm sorry, there's a correction there. There will be 5 minutes for Q&A.
5 minutes. Thank you.
I have a question. This is Grace. I have no idea. I'm just wondering, are dates subject to any pests?
I'm not sure, but I do know that they're stable for a year. So we're able to keep them fresh longer without needing a preservative. But at this time, I don't know if they're subject to specific pests.
Thanks.
Quick question here. You know, you're looking at dates from southern Lebanon. There is production of dates in California. So why didn't you choose that source?
So we wanted to be able to utilize fair trade practices, and we know that there are many farms in Southern California, Western California, but we wanted to be able to help the communities that are struggling, especially in Lebanon with the recent economic collapse. We wanted to be able to increase the wages of that group because currently they're only making about $100 a month.
Thank you.
And how do you plan to reach that market in Lebanon? Do you guys have contacts there already, or?
So, sorry to interrupt. I'm working with a mentor over at the IMF, and she was able to connect me with a lot of the people at the UN who are representing those countries. And I'm also speaking with, like I said earlier, Anthony Riahel, who's done multiple documentaries on the date industry within Southern Lebanon, who's able to connect me with people within that region.
This may be a pretty basic question. This is Imani here. Do you all have any idea whether or not the taste profile is similar to sugar? Since I imagine that's part of the reason why companies tend to use, you know, raw sugar products. They understand the taste profile pretty well and it works well with their products.
Right. So we've noticed that the taste profile is pretty similar to butterscotch. It's more similar to brown sugar. I'm not sure if Quinn wanted to add anything else.
And I would also say for the alternative sugars that most diabetics are using currently, they're actually hundreds times sweeter than conventional sugar, making it actually more addictive. And aspartame, for example, has a bitter aftertaste, which can affect the final product. So actually our dates, we would be aiming, well, the date profile is much more milder than the alternative sugar.
And actually, along those lines, how does that compare? How does dates sugar compare to something like agave, right, which is natural sweetener? It's already saturated the market.
Currently, with agave is very similar to honey. Obviously, the sweetness level is lower, but obviously the way that agave is grown compared to dates, I believe that agave would be more expensive than preparing the dates. And also we're able to make the dates into a paste where you can actually get the most amount of nutrient content from it, versus with the agave, where by the time it's made to that final syrup process, a lot of the nutrients has been removed.
Savo here. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question and a comment. My comment is about the introduction about the sugar being addictive. I think we can assume that everybody kind of have an idea of that is addictive, but it will be important to know why is it addictive. And then it was not clear to me why often people with lower income are the ones consuming more sugar. And it wasn't also clear to me if this has been already proven in terms of, are we sure that the sugar or the sweetener, using dates as a sweetener, actually will help reduce diabetes, or will not, will be a substitute for people with diabetes?
Alex, can I take this?
Yes.
Okay. So to go to your last question, we are going to funnel money into a research program to actually prove what we're proposing. There is limited research out there currently, and some of that is just strategic because sugar companies want to make sure that their products stay at the top of everyone's mind. They're marketed to low-income communities because it's cheap and inexpensive, and it's an easy way to preserve products and be used as a filler. And then your other question about why sugar is so addictive, it's actually been proven to be more addictive than drugs on the market because of the processes in your brain it's almost like a repeat reward cycle. So every time you're having it, it's kind of saying to your brain, this was a reward and I want to keep having that. And because scientists have spent many years refining sugar to make sure that it is at its most addictive, so you're very conditioned to what that taste of sugar is whenever you're having it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dates team, for going first in your finalists.
Again, thank you so much, Danny.
You're welcome. You might want to check the chat. I believe Grace has left you some feedback and comments that you might want to follow up with.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we continue round 2. And the next finalist in no particular order is, that was so unepic, Team Tara with Eliana, Camila, and
Thank you so much. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna share.
Yes, we're gonna share.
Perfect. So you're gonna share your screen. Make sure that when you do, you pin on your side the timer as well. And you know that as soon as you start, we'll start the timer.
Hi, my name is Eliana Casas.
Hello, my name is Camila Gisarova, and we're gonna talk today about Terra. In the US, food waste is 30 to 40% of the food supply. It decomposes anaerobically, making it smell and emit methane, a greenhouse gas up to 86 times more potent than carbon dioxide. Decomposing food waste also produces byproducts that pollute our groundwater. Terra is a remarkable solution to compost food scraps. Using the modified static aerobic pile method to compost is beneficial to the climate. It uses aerobic decomposition, decreasing odor and methane emissions. It also prevents groundwater pollution. The compost will be a 40 by 20 by 8 foot pile mixture of food waste and yard waste. To speed up the decomposition, soil inoculants will be added to help heat up the pile. The fertilizer will be finished in 60 days. Windrow composting is labor-intensive, required a lot of land, and can take up to a year to see finished product. Although forced aerated piles see result in 3 months, they require expensive infrastructure. Our modified static aerobic pile method is the most cost-effective, easiest, fastest, and requires less land and labor. First, we create raw piles. Then we mix the piles. Next, we screen the fertilizer and end up with the finished fertilizer. This is how we will create our raw piles. Our method of composting requires less land and labor because of the raw plot rotation. Each week, we will create 1 raw pile. At the 8th week or 60 days later, our first week's raw pile will be ready to screen. That raw plot can then be used again to create another pile. This cycle will continue, so we will always have land available each week to compost. Our method also requires less labor because we only turn each pile twice in the 60-day cycle.
So synthetic fertilizers, they degrade the soil over time, but they produce higher yields in the short term. Other organic fertilizers improve the soil, but they're costly. Terra fertilizers are the perfect balance. They improve the soil structure, increase water retention, allow for more carbon sequestration, and produce higher yields at the same price as synthetic fertilizers. We have a business-to-business model. Our customers are existing composting services. They will do what they do best, logistics. They will drop off organic waste to us where we specialize in our efficient composting method. We will sell our compost to farms. The compost that we sell to farms, we will cut a profit to the composting services, so they will make money. The more organic waste that they drop off to us, the more fertilizer we can produce and sell, and then the more money they will make. Our business will work because the global compost market is expected to reach $8.9 billion by 2025, with a compounded annual growth rate of 5 to 7% from 2020 to 2025. With this growing market, we need to think about avenues for expansion. We will do this by franchising our business. People that want to use our composting method will not be competitors, but franchisees now. According to the American Farm Bureau Foundation, the average farm is 443 acres. 11 tons of fertilizers covers one farm, and one farm feeds 166 people. To impact 10 million people, we will need to sell 60,241 tons of fertilizer. But based on our production per year, we will reach over 10 million people by year 7 with 60,241 tons of fertilizer sold. Our unit price is $300, minus our unit production cost of $34.31. This equals $265.69. Minus a 5% cut of this number to logistics, that will be $13.28. This equals our contribution margin per ton of $252.41. Because of this high contribution margin, we, Terra, will be a successful and profitable business. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Tara. We're going to go ahead and start the timer and pass it over to the judges for Q&A.
I have a question for you all. Can you share a bit about the financial structure of the franchisee model?
Right. So basically, we will be providing the equipment to the franchisees and training them on how to use our composting method. So they will be able to know how to do it instead of like doing the research themselves. We will be able to teach them, and we can do this with the profits that we are making. Since our contribution margin is so high, we'll be making high profits and funneling that to start the franchising.
Thank you.
Perhaps I missed this, but are you targeting a specific location?
So we have decided to start here in Florida, in the Lakeland area, because there are 3 composting services in that area that will be our clients. And then there is also land available at a cheaper price in that area. And so that's where we decided to start our business.
Yeah, then we plan to expand.
I've got a question as well. Thank you for your pitch. Is the method of composting you're using something that is unique to you? Is it something that other competitors are already using? Could you talk about that?
So basically, we did the research, and the modified static aerobic pile method is the new method, and people don't use it right now.
Right. So there are different types of methods. This one is a little bit newer and has been tested, but not a lot of people are using it. But we're using this pile because we found that it is more cost efficient and it uses less land and produces, still good fertilizer, just as good as any other composting method.
And it takes only 60 days to get like the final product, the final fertilizer.
I have a question, guys. Great presentation. Your business model, you said, is a business to business, so you're selling directly to businesses. How do you plan on scaling that? Have you thought about your go-to-market strategy when it comes to scaling the B2B side of your business?
So basically, yes, our business model, business to business, our customers gonna be existing composting services because they already have their logistics, and usually composting services, they have a subscription model and they already have their customers. So we're thinking we're gonna do the composting, and as more food scraps they bring it to us, the more money we're gonna give them. Yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned that you looked into Lakeland because of the composting facilities that exist over there. Were you able to go and speak to them, as well as maybe have some conversations with some farms that already exist or are using this, or they might be prone to use it, and will they make the change?
So we didn't get a chance to speak with farms, but there's like been studies done with this method of composting of some areas in Florida that are using this composting method and seeing that it has been effective. So I believe that this would be something that businesses would use, and that farms would also use our fertilizer, because it's known that synthetic fertilizers, although they're cheap, they degrade the soil over time. So it's not actually good for the farm, even though they produce a higher yield up front. And then organic fertilizers for them are just too expensive, but with ours, it's the same price so as synthetic fertilizers. So they would want to use ours because it's better for the soil and it's the same price as what they're already using.
Thank you.
I've got another question for you. How have you calculated the 10 million people that you're going to impact? How does that translate from your product to that impact?
Right. So we calculated that we would need to produce this many, based on the average acreage of a farm, that we need to use 11 tons of fertilizer per farm, since it's the recommended is 1 ton per 40 acres. And then based on that number, we calculated that since 166 people is fed from one farm, then we can feed 166 people by selling a little over 60,000 tons of the fertilizer, based on how much fertilizer is used to impact the acreages of farms.
Yeah, and also we calculated how much we can produce fertilizer per year, and it's going to be 9,000 tons.
All right, thank you very much, Tara. And now we're gonna go ahead and jump into our third finalist. So let me try to share the screen again. Let me see. Our third finalist is Smart Kitchen Franchise. Albertine, all right.
Hello. Okay. Wait, let me share my screen. So excited in my picture.
Congratulations. So you will be sharing your screen, correct, Albertina?
Yes, I will. That's correct.
Perfect.
I'm having some problem with my computer. Give me just a second. I'm sorry, but I can't share my screen. Is that okay if I can like zoom out and zoom in real quick?
You mean leave the Zoom?
Yes, leave the Zoom and join back real quick, because I can't, my computer's frozen. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just 1 second, thank you.
All right, well, we wait for Albertina's team to come back. We will finish round 2 presentations and jump into a 10-minute break. And then we will have the judges deliberate to choose the winner. So we're probably gonna end a little earlier than our scheduled agenda. So you'll get an early Friday. Okay, perfect. She's back.
Oh, I have a question. Is this going to be recorded? Or like, is the live stream going to stay up or?
Yeah, so the live stream will stay on YouTube. It's actually on the StartUP FIU YouTube channel. So you can search us up, and through our channel, you can find it easily. You can also just search up StartUP FIU Hult Prize 2021. It should come up.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm back. Thank you so much for waiting. I'm sorry. So So Archie, in a count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Hello. So this is Maria. She has her own food truck in Miami, and she's been selling tacos. She started 1 year ago, but she's having trouble entering the market because she has to compete with the low prices of big fast food restaurants like Taco Bell. She struggles at the end of each month to pay back her truck loan, and she cannot offer food delivery due to the kitchen space. It is frustrating because she has an amazing expansion plan, but due to the money concerns, she cannot focus on growing her business. Each year, an average of 13,000 food entrepreneurs will open new restaurants, but around 60% will fail in the next year and 80% in the next 5 years. Due to high barriers to enter the food industry and the low margin profit, it is almost impossible to survive. But the biggest problem that they encounter is the immense amount of money that they need to open an actual restaurant. So entrepreneurs end up selling food in the street, operating in food trucks or in social media, which at the end doesn't permit them to scale the level that they would with an industrial kitchen. Which is why we came out with our solution, Smart Kitchen. We're supporting food entrepreneurs to overcome the future failures in the food industry with no need to buy kitchen equipment, to sign a lease, to acquire permits, or to hire servers. We will guide food entrepreneurs to design to-go plant-based meals to fuel the convenience of one-click order placements and reliable delivery for the person living a hectic lifestyle. With our solution, entrepreneurs can try out different recipes and perfect their own menu before even seeking for investment for expanding their business.
So our solution is a smart kitchen franchisee that operates only for online food ordering and delivery. The purpose is to provide the food entrepreneur the possibility to sell their food with no need to invest in money, no cooking needed, and no storefront required. So Maria has 2 roles. First, Maria will provide her menu, which should address the food mission of plant-based diets. And second, Maria will focus solely on selling food, innovating, expanding, and marketing her business. Here's where Smart Kitchens come into play. We receive the order through our online order management technology. We purchase the food and install the ingredients. We prepare the food on behalf of Maria, we pack the food in sustainable packaging, and then we hand the order to the driver. Our solution reduces a significant amount of cost on food and paper, labor, food waste, and rent through our centralized kitchen with up to 50 multiple concepts. Thanks to our economics of scale, the shared food between concepts reduce food costs and food waste. Also, our uniqueness is that the food concept is a plant-based diet that lowers the risk of heart disease, diabetes type 2, and obesity. Our main goal is to search for customer franchisee who are going to receive a complete blueprint on how to set up, manage the kitchen, brands, channels, and supply chain. The franchisee will invest $600,000 to get a return on investment of 19%. By year 3, the franchisee will break even with $200,000, assuming they're selling 15 orders per day by 50 micro entrepreneurs. The food entrepreneur will get 20% of every order placed. The food entrepreneur will have an income of $20,000. In conclusion, the franchisee will be in charge of operating the kitchen and the food entrepreneur will be selling the food. They will not be required to invest any money. With our 10 franchisee locations, we're gonna impact 21 million people in only 5 years. So our model creates value for the food entrepreneur who's gonna have the opportunity to have a business with no risk of failure, and the end consumer by having a plant-based meal that is convenient.
The demand for delivery services has driven the evolution of virtual kitchens. 60% of US consumers order delivery once a week. It is estimated that the online food delivery market will grow 10 times in the next 10 years. Virtual kitchens market will reach 72 billion by 2027. Our market is validated by big businesses leaders like Uber CEO and Google Ventures that are investing millions in virtual kitchens business models. We introduced a plant-based virtual kitchen because it is the diet with the lowest impact in the environment and health. We are different because we focus on plant-based ingredients and we support entrepreneurs to start a food business without paying any rent. We interview 170 restaurants that are seeking additional revenue streams within their existing kitchens by launching virtual brands. Restaurants are seeing more and more appetite for food delivery. Our go-to market strategy is to help these restaurants to innovate by using our operational model, allowing them quick adaptability to catch on new trends. We will promote plant-based seasonal meals for better health among students from university, which is the biggest market among delivery and plant-based consumers. Then, to reach new customers, our strategy is to show transparency. Our next steps with the $1 million prize will we invest on the blueprint of our complete operating model, kitchen setup infrastructure, tech support, software required, culinary counsel, and marketing to open our first franchise in Miami to prove our business model. With this platform available to food entrepreneurs, we don't see any expensive mortality happen. With our business model, we're responsible for these 5 SDGs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Perfect timing. We're gonna go ahead and move now into the Q&A part. So judges, you now have 5 minutes for questions.
Do you guys know what the plant-based food market is?
Yes. Well, the plant-based market food right now is going to increase by 72 billion in 2027. It's going to reach out 72 billion by 2027. Yes.
Gustavo here. I have an opportunity to do a follow-up question based on the initial presentation, and is the following. So you talk about transparency. You talked that you spoke with 170 restaurants. You talked that Maria then will have 2 roles. One of the roles is to receive the recipes and cook on behalf of the entrepreneur. So is there, when in those interviews, by any chance, were any indications of the entrepreneur being concerned with the recipes, with the fact that their clientele is being shared with other entrepreneurs, and with other franchisee, and also some concern about the Amazon model, where they have learned from their people that have sell through their platform, then they do the same, or they take their business. So any comments around that?
So regarding of all the interviews that we did with the micro entrepreneurs, so all of these micro entrepreneurs come from low income areas. So they're just like looking to satisfy the people with their food they're selling, share their cultures. So with their business model, we're gonna have they're gonna be able to share exactly their menu, exactly what's the process, and they're gonna be able to see if their food qualifies for their customers, so then they can so then the end consumer, which is going to be satisfied with the food they're going to be providing. And in terms of sharing the kitchen space, well, there's not a problem, and we can prove that because of the 100,000 other cloud kitchens model that exists around, and they're currently using a similar model. It is different, it has a similarity in the sense of sharing the kitchen space, but it makes us different because we're gonna be able to follow each guideline of what they're asking for.
And also, if I can add, essentially the entrepreneur, what he does is that he provides his own recipe, his own menu, and he gets his marketing. So like he will be the one that's driving the customers to his menu. So no, he's not gonna get stolen his ideas, if that makes sense.
So you mentioned that the entrepreneur receives $20,000 a year. Is that per franchise?
So yeah, so I'm sorry, but it's $27,000, and that is per concept. So the food entrepreneur has 2 concepts, so then it will be double. And that's assuming he will be selling 15 orders per day, and an average restaurant sells an average of 20 orders per day. So we're actually calculating, we're very conservative in the calculations.
Hi, this is Imani. Oh, please.
No, sorry, just clarifying. These orders are tickets, or when you say 15 orders, is that like food or what's that?
So 15 orders. So the 15 orders is an average of $25, and that could be any between 1 plate or 2 dishes.
I was just going to ask, since like Gustavo, I get an opportunity to ask a follow-up question from the first time around. We know that one of the main reasons that food businesses do often fail is that there is a lack of education sometimes about the profitability of the foods and the preparation and the scalability of that food and preparation in terms of the clientele, an industrial kitchen, things like that. Since this is obviously an idea meant to scale, is there an education portion to your business model for helping these like very, very new food businesses learn how to convert their maybe out of their kitchen recipe into something that is profitable in a larger industry? I'm just curious.
Yes, I really like your question. So basically, since their business model shared everything in terms of basic ingredients, rent, that will make the opportunity for the food entrepreneur to grow their business faster because at a lower cost. Also, the food entrepreneur, they will not invest anything in the business because all the ingredients will be the franchisee will pay in for them. And you asked another question. What's the other question that you asked?
No, it was just a matter of, and time's up, but but generally it was you answered the question is what I'm getting at. Since that's being housed by you all are doing the food preparation, there might be some modification of a recipe in order for it to be scalable, but that's something
Right.
you all would handle.
And just to finish the question, so yes, and since we're going to be handling all the process, we're going to make sure that the entrepreneur gets the right education on how she should go to the market and sell and have all the marketing strategies. So that's why we would like to offer them that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Or her, right?
Correct,
or her as an entrepreneur. All right, everyone. So we have a wild card. We had the top team was supposed to be selected from each room, but there was one room where 2 teams passed. And so on that note, I would like to share that the wild card for this year's competition is 3 of a kind with Maria, Daniel, and Stella. Oh, I didn't play. Sorry. Congratulations, 3 of a kind.
We'll play for you. Yay!
Yes, yay! Perfect. Will this team be sharing their own screen? Are they here? Can we make sure that they're here?
Yeah, can you give me the names of the teammates?
Maria Angelica, Daniel Smith, and Stella. I thought I saw them.
Yeah, they're here.
Yeah, I see them.
Mm-hmm. Where are they? We need 3 of a kind to speak up, or you will be taken down from the list.
This is like back when they used to have the Publishers Clearinghouse with the giant check, and then the person wouldn't be home. This is really interesting.
No, someone call them. Someone call them.
I'm getting anxious for them.
Same.
They are in the Philippines.
I'm sweating. That's true.
I'm calling them. Don't worry.
Thank you, Lina. Thank you.
Lina's face.
This is my favorite Lina move right now.
Yeah, we just messaged them on the chat as well. Yes, Stella, you're responding to me privately. Your team has been selected to round 2. Oh, true. There's 3 Stella. There's like 2 Stellas. Other Stella. Stella Subido.
They're getting in right now.
Okay. All right.
They really didn't think they would make it through. That was so cute.
All right. I don't know who was the moderator or timer in that room, but do you know if whoever it was, did they share their screen or did we share it for them so we can have it up?
Yeah, she wanted me to share my screen.
Okay, so if you want, you can go ahead and set it up, assuming that they've arrived.
Oh, look, they just rejoined, I think.
Yeah, I think there's only one call. All right, is team 3 of a kind in the Zoom call?
Hey, we're back.
We're back. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right.
Yay.
We're glad to have you back.
Sorry about that.
So we will do the same. You will have 6 minutes to pitch, and you will have 5 minutes from Q&A from the judges. Good luck.
Okay.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes. Okay. So.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Daniel.
I'm Stella. And I'm Maria Angelica Sabio.
And we are Team 3 of a Kind. So food waste is one of the biggest problems plaguing our modern world. Oh yeah, thank you. Not only for developed countries such as the US, but for developing countries like the Philippines. Every year, 308,000 tons of rice is wasted in the Philippines. In Metro Manila alone, around 2,175 tons of food scraps are thrown away daily. That's terrible for the environment, since about 1 kilogram of waste equates to about 2.5 kilograms of
This is so dramatic.
It just drops out.
Yeah.
I think it's the internet connectivity. Oh.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
I thought it
What
was
a
me.
way to engage your audience, guys. Good job.
Making the Zoom pitch experience that much more exciting.
Can you imagine that poor team?
Their computer died, but they're connecting again.
I saw him stand up and I thought maybe like something happened. I was, this is like a horror movie. This is like a 2020 postmodern horror movie. This is amazing.
It looked like someone kicked the internet router, you know?
That's what it seemed like. Like the body language was like,
Imani,
whoa.
it reminded me of our play of the zombies.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Remember, just leave me. My girlfriend could do much better. Just if there's ever a zombie situation, just leave me. It's okay.
Okay, let's hope that's the last of the technical difficulties.
Wait, your video.
Yeah, okay, so where were we? Do you want us to start from the beginning, or do you want us to continue where we left off?
Beginning.
Yeah, if you want, you can start to the beginning so you're in the flow. Hopefully you don't have a technical
Okay,
difficulty.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Start from the beginning once.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Stella. And I'm Maria Angelica.
And we are Team 3 of a Kind. Next slide. Thank you. Food waste is one of the biggest problems plaguing the modern world, not only for developed countries such as the US, but for developing countries like the Philippines. Every year, 308,000 tons of rice is wasted in the Philippines. In Metro Manila alone, around 2,175 tons of food scraps are thrown away daily. That's terrible for the environment, since 1 kilogram of waste equates to about 2.5 kilograms of carbon dioxide. For a country that already faces a food shortage, which causes high prices, it's even worse. The agricultural workers, the same ones producing the food, are faced with a terrible situation since they are some of the lowest paid in the world. It is these problems we hope to tackle. We chose San Juan as our starting next slide, please. We chose San Juan as our starting location and hope to target the lower class and lower middle class, as well as the farmers who already struggle with acidic and nutrient-poor soil. Next slide. Our company is Capamilla Compost, which means family in my native language. Next slide. Growing up in the Philippines, my grandma would always collect our spoiled or uneaten food, and she would feed them to the animals we raised. In this way, the wasted food would be naturally recycled and brought back into the environment. However, I realized that for any family that did not raise animals, the food would simply just be thrown away. Our idea was to buy this waste from people, since they were already going to throw it away, then compost it and sell it to the farmers. For farmers, the compost we would sell them would be far cheaper and better for the environment than what they could buy off the market. And for the citizens, they would gain a small but passive source of income from something they would otherwise throw away. Next slide.
Composting is a process in which food scraps and organic matter are mixed with soil and left to decompose, creating fertilizer. This technique on a large scale will reduce the large amounts of potent methane gas produced in landfills. The lower middle class people of San Juan will collect their kitchen scraps in this Capamilla compost bucket and bring them to the facility located within the city. This compost then travels to a small composting facility where it will transform from food waste to organic fertilizer and will further be sold to farmers at a cheaper price, both aiding the farmers as well as alleviating the NPK depleted soils of the Philippines. Next slide, please. As you can see, the locals of San Juan will benefit from the monetary incentive of food scraps. The environment will also gain improved soil structure and decrease food waste in landfills. And finally, agricultural workers decrease the use of herbicides and are given a cheaper and organic alternative. Next slide, please.
Our business model compensates suppliers 10 cents per kilogram for food scraps. Those food scraps will then be collected in the collection facility, transported to the composting facility, which in turn will be turned into very profitable fertilizer for the farmers, in which it could be sold at a competitive price compared to the leading fertilizer in the Philippines. Next slide. We'll be selling 50 kilograms of fertilizer for $15, so that's the unit price, whereas the cost of the raw materials would be $10, leaving us with a $5 contribution margin. Next slide. We are expected to reach 6,000 farm owners across the country, which will buy $61 worth of fertilizer annually. Many farm owners in the Philippines only have 1.29 hectares of land, only needing 157.4 kilograms per hectare of fertilizer, that is. The Philippines also has 5.56 million farms that can serve as potential consumers. At our unit price, although small, it is competitive, which will draw more consumers in the following years. This 7-year projection shows how we do not break even until year 3, but there will be an increase in production between years 4 and 5 to compensate as our efficiency and credibility increases. A slight decrease in profits will occur in years 5 and 6 as our company plans to set up more facilities in the Metro Manila area, which leaves us with 8 facilities and the potential to reach $6 million worth of net income. But to reach this potential, a gift of $1 million will transform our ideas into a reality. We will allocate $682,000 that will be used for capital expenditures and $230,000 that will be used for operations, which also leaves us an extra $88,000. Next slide.
Firstly, we sought to reach out to Swiss Pack Philippines to have our Capamilla compost be packaged. There are some local businesses that we would like to partner with. Goldtooth Enterprise will then aid us in the construction of our composting machinery. And finally, Dendro Hauling Services will alleviate our needs and otherwise expensive services of transporting the food waste to compost facilities. Next slide, please. Southeast Asia alone is responsible for 0.235 billion tons of food waste per year. The implementation of Capamilla compost could potentially divert up to 150 kilograms of food waste per household per year from going into landfills and instead be used to create compost and further promote sustainable agricultural practices. While San Juan Metro Manila, Philippines is just a start, It will surely create a domino effect and slowly influence the rest of Asia to follow its successful steps. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Great job. I'm glad the internet and everything worked out for the pitch. We're now going to move on to the 5 minutes for Q&A.
I'd love to jump in. Hi, this is Andreina. Cheers to the three of you for coming back strong, not once, but twice, and for a great presentation. I wanted to ask you, how do you plan to educate individuals and families on proper composting techniques to avoid misuse and potentially more costs for you for sorting out contaminated units?
Well, we hope to reach out to the community first and foremost. There's the poor and the lower middle class. They're the ones that we hope to target, and they were where most of our food waste are going to come from. So we want to reach out to them. We want to talk to community leaders. We think that's very important, talk to community leaders. And with their help, it will allow us to better get to the community, and this way we'll be able to educate them better on the proper, what types of food scraps we can use and what we can't use. Of course, when it comes to composting, there's a lot of things you can and cannot use. And that's very important so that we can reduce our costs. And the number one thing is reaching out to the community and talking to community leaders when it comes to educating them. Thank you.
Amazing, thank you.
Could you share a little about current competitors in the Philippines that are doing also work in composting or similar solutions for food waste?
I had actually seen, this is kind of where we got our inspiration from. Well, our original inspiration was from a community in New York where they were doing urban farming as long as incorporating composting. But I saw that there were a lot of, there was one company that was collecting food scraps from restaurants actually, so that they can use it to make compost. So I saw that, oh my gosh, it's a thing in the Philippines. It is actually a type of behavior. But the thing is, what we wanted to do was to reach out to the lower middle class to kind of give them an income, an incentive to do something good for the environment.
And to also stimulate any jobs that could be available to them.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question.
Gustavo here. Going back to Andreina's question, have you been able to have conversations with that population in the Philippines and understand what will be the best way for them to adopt this solution if they are not doing it already, or how they can integrate this into their daily lives?
So we actually all grew up in the Philippines, but when I was little, I know that my grandma and a lot of other people would collect their food waste because they can't just dump it down the drain. There's no garbage disposal. So they would just already collect a lot of the food waste they would have, and either they would feed it to animals or they would throw it in their garden if they had a garden. If they didn't, they would just throw it in the garbage can. So collecting their food scraps is already a behavior they do, and simply just changing it slightly to ensure that we get the proper kinds of food waste that we need and we can use, and then we'll help mold their behavior towards that. Something that's already there. Thank you.
If there are no other questions.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question in terms of infrastructure and how much do you need in order to be scalable or to get to a point of scalability to reach the 10 million, the impact that you require in terms of logistics in a year? What will that entail?
Okay. When I was working out the monetary part, the financials parts of this project, I saw that during the first year, we wouldn't make that much money because, for example, compost would probably take a couple months for it to be usable and to be sellable. And so what I did for our financial plan, is that we would wait until maybe like the 4 or 5 year period and use that profit to create more facilities throughout Metro Manila, because Metro Manila is very densely populated, and there's a lot of food waste that goes out the window, like through the landfills, and that's what we want to avoid. So When it comes to scalability, I guess it would have to go throughout that whole time period, and where we would have enough profits to kind of support adding more facilities, especially in areas like Metro Manila, if that answers your question.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Let's give a big love on the chat or an emojis for our top 4 finalists. Right now, we're gonna go ahead and have a 10-minute break. And I'm gonna put the judges all in a breakout room, and the judges will begin to deliberate. At 4:30, all teams are required, if they're in the top finalists, to be available in case the judges are gonna call you in for questions. Okay, so on that note, Andrew, if you can put us in the breakout room, and then I don't know who's doing the hold slides during the break.
Yeah, Clarissa will set up the break slides. And I also just want to remind everyone, we'll announce really that we're going to be launching a poll for the students while you're on break. So if you just have it, it takes like 30 seconds to fill out, but for the students who have participated, to just fill it out as you go on break.
You want to launch it now then?
Yeah, but it'll be, can you do it while you have breakout rooms open?
Oh, I don't know, maybe you should do it now.
Okay. I'll do it now, and then
we should do it now. And then for everyone, after we announce the winners, we'll be talking about next steps and the different opportunities available to you in the spring semester from StartUP FIU and other social entrepreneurship competitions.
Yep. So I'm going to try launching the breakout rooms just to see
okay.
if it'll be compatible. And Clarissa, if you can get those slides set up and the music playing, that'd be perfect.
She tastes like summer and she smiles like May. Every night in my dreams I dream we'll be one day. She tastes like summer to me. She tastes like sunshine. She sees straight through me. Ice in my lemonade. Summer and love fade away.
Certain songs and certain places remind me of certain faces. You come up whether I want you to or not. From the state of California to the Converse in the foyer, I think maybe I'm not done with us.
I wanna go back to that summer in San Fran. Listen to nothing but revolver and cat sounds. You ride a shotty in the 92 Subaru. And all the windows down. I still feel you, because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you. Because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you.
My darling dandelion, blown away but somehow mine. And you travel with a wish I said to you, that when your 5 p.m.s turn orange, know the skies are paying homage to the way I'll always think of you.
I wanna go back to that summer in San Fran. Listen to nothing but revolver and cat sounds. You ride a shotty in the 92 Subaru. And all the windows down. I still feel you, because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you. Because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you. I wanna go back to that summer in San Fran. Listen to nothing but revolver and cat sounds. You ride a shotty in the 92 Subaru. And all the windows down. I still feel you, because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you. Because in my mind I'm still on the fight with you. My mind I'm still on the fight. Still on the fight. My mind I'm still on the fight. 'Cause in my mind I'm still on the fight.
Spiders up the wall, up to the ceiling. I can't shake them off, 'cause no one sees them. Why the silly face when the room's so serious? No one's happy and it's never enough. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Feel like I'm losing my head, caught up in the pieces don't seem to fit. Don't leave me in the middle of your web, spinning yeses and no. I can't make sense of what you don't even know. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Lately I've been stuck like dumb under the desk of a classroom I once stepped in. Chewed on the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now. Just the way it is, just the way it is. It's just the way it is for now.
Her house is covered in plastic, and I doubt I'll ever be back here. When the lights go out and things are falling down, I hope she'll notice. 'Cause I won't bend until I break. Just bite my tongue and walk away. She's no Cinderella, and that ain't no castle of gold. I should've known better, but I guess I was wrong. And writes love letters, a hand gone wrapped in a bow. That girl is venom, that girl is venom, that girl is venom. Her force is stronger than magic. You forfeit on her mattress, and then the lights go down, but you won't figure out where it's all going till it's unfolding. She'll bend you until you break, and glass slippers ain't a tape. She's no Cinderella, and that ain't no castle of gold. I should've known better, but I guess I was wrong. And writes love letters, a hand gone wrapped in a bow. That girl is venom, that girl is venom, that girl is venom. She's so cropped and beautiful, a piece of chocolate painted gold. Yet she still seems to have a hole, a splinter in my soul. She's no Cinderella, and that ain't no castle of gold. I should've known better, but I guess I was wrong. And writes love letters, a hand gone wrapped in a bow. That girl is venom, that girl is venom. She's no Cinderella, and that ain't no castle of gold. I should've known better, but I guess I was wrong. And writes love letters, a hand gone wrapped in a bow. That girl is venom, that girl is venom, that girl is venom. I would go anywhere just to see it, and I won't question where I'm going. I won't question where I'm going. I'll just go. I would love anyone just to feel it, and I won't question who I'm loving. I won't question who I'm loving. I just love, just love, just love, 'cause everything's fine. 'Cause everything's fine. 'Cause everything's fine. 'Cause everything's fine. 'Cause when I'm with it, I know who I am. 'Cause I would love anyone just to feel it, and I won't question who I'm loving. I won't question who I'm loving. I just love, I just love. 'Cause I
Freaking out on the interstate, rolling down the windows, baby. I can't hear a thing you say. I'm walking back to my favorite place, and I can feel them staring at me, baby. Do you think I'm doing something wrong? And you got a lot on
won't you call me back? 'Cause I've been waiting for a text back. It hurts my brain. This chick who plays bass, she plays bass, she plays bass. Nothing matters 'cause we're both in space. Pretty shit, we could never date. She plays bass, she plays bass. Yes, we're both stuck in the same boat. The world doesn't seem to get us though. You're just stuck in space, just playing your bass. She plays bass, she plays bass. Nothing matters 'cause we're both in space. Pretty shit, we could never date. She plays bass, she plays bass. She plays bass, she plays bass. Nothing matters 'cause we're both in space. How I wish we could just date, so you could teach me how to be more like you. Wish I was more like you. Wish I was more like you. Wish I was more like you.
Your bag and toothbrush, only the essentials. Don't got time for details. Keep it confidential. I left my peace of mind in the backseat of a station wagon. When you don't get what you want, that's who you are. There you have it. We were all born at the wrong time, but that's done and over. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin. Rent a car in Austin. Drive to California. I'll get you something awesome. Bring back something for ya. My hair, it's growing badly. I'll get what you want, that's who you are. There you have it. We were all born at the wrong time, but that's done and over. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin. I left my peace of mind in the backseat of a station wagon. When you don't get what you want, that's who you are. There you have it. We were all born at the wrong time, but that's done and over with. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin. If that was a cold goodbye, it's just because the future isn't good. I cannot tell a lie, and there's no telling if we'll make it. We were all born at the wrong time, but that's done and over. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin. Drive, please just drive. The seatbelt digs into my skin.
Dream about you, way I said I wouldn't, 'cause I shouldn't. If I hung a dream, got you over my bed, I'd get billion alternate endings where you left me. I still think about you standing in your armor, singing all the wrong words to hallelujah. Sweatshirt on a warm day, trying to keep a straight face. That's hallelujah. Tracking with your fast hands, saving all your slow dances. I wish I was there with you. I write you love songs and glitter them with triggers, in case you hear 'em in a moment of curiosity or weakness. You may let me affect you, intersect you. I still think about you standing in your armor, singing all the wrong words to hallelujah. Sweatshirt on a warm day, trying to keep a straight face. That's hallelujah. Tracking with your fast hands, saving all your slow dances. I wish I was there with you. I still think about you. I still think about you. I still think about you standing in your altar, singing all the wrong words to hallelujah. Sweatshirt on a warm day, trying to keep a straight picture from that frame. I'll put it in my pocket so that every day you're with me. I keep you close to my heart. Give me one more kiss before the boys arrive. Nashville to San Francisco is a hell of a drive, but don't worry, the Lord is good when the road is long, and we'll be back before you know. She's holding it down, but we'll be back before you know. You know, la 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 la. Said you know, you know, la la. But when the days roll on, she's alright.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We've had a very intense conversation with the judges, which is why we're a little bit behind schedule. So I hope everyone's back. We're gonna go ahead and share a screen for one last time. Go ahead, make sure I'm doing it. All right. All right, so, sorry. So for our finalists, we had top 4 finalists. We are happy to announce that the 3rd place goes to, oh, didn't say it there. It didn't say.
One moment, Danny.
Oh, sorry, it didn't load on my end. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing now.
Just give it a moment, Danny, because we just got the deliberation results right now. So we have to update a couple things on our end.
Okay.
Okay, you should be good to go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's try this one more time.
Shall we ask everyone to put their cameras so we can see the reactions?
Oh yeah, students
Yes.
and the top finalists, make sure to turn on your cameras. All right, let's try this one more time. So our third place winner goes to Three of a Kind. Our runner-up team is Days.
Woo!
This is extremely difficult, this choice. And last but not least, our winner is Smart Kitchens.
Yay!
So happy! Oh my god! Thank you so much! Thank you so much! Thank you so much!
Sweet victory. All right, year two, you got it right. Last year, you guys came up as runner-up, and this year you're going home with first place, and you'll be representing FIU at the Boston Global Regionals in spring of 2021. Congratulations.
Thank
you so much.
I know, I wish in person you would have come up and taken pictures and we would be hugging you. And so we hope that you're getting all those positive vibes right now for everyone. Everyone did phenomenal today. It was extremely difficult to choose the winner. So let me explain what's happening next. First off, I'm gonna pass it over to our amazing Bob Hacker. Bob, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so you can jump in here.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Danny. We started StartUP FIU in 2016. Emily and I, we co-founded it. Emily had a very sincere interest in social entrepreneurship, and I was actually the first professor of social entrepreneurship at FIU because J.C. Espinosa, who's now the dean of the Honors College, invited me to teach a course. And at the time I was working with a large social entrepreneurship project. So it was kind of natural. And then, you know, the world is organized because as soon as we decided to start StartUP FIU, we wanted to make Hult be an integral part of what we stood for. And I recruited Danny to come to work at StartUP FIU to focus on Hult. And now, you know, 5 years later, Danny's put together this terrific day with her team, and I'm very proud of all the work that everybody did to make this possible. And I shouldn't forget that, you know, Danny was instrumental in arranging all the judges, and I was in the judging room this year, and the judges were really very thoughtful and very knowledgeable, and I learned a few things from some of the judges during the day, and that's always a good day when I learn something from somebody else. I think the theme, you know, in terms of this year, perhaps should be that Annalise and Albertina and Jasmine were in second place last year, and they worked really hard this year, and now they've won. And I think the message to all of you is, if they could advance and get to first place, then all of you can. Emily and I sometimes talk about the notion that we should recruit freshman teams to compete in Hult. And every year we'll help them to develop so that they're really, really competitive by the time they're seniors. So if there's any freshmen listening that enjoyed the Hult experience today, come see us. We'd like to talk to you about, I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it grooming for Hult. All right. One point in closing is that last year, 3 of the teams that competed all qualified for regionals. All right. You automatically qualify for Boston if you win FIU, but the other teams that did so well, they can apply to other regionals. And last year, 2 teams got accepted. And so, you know, those of you that didn't win this year, it's not over yet. All right. And Danny and I and Andrew and the whole team that's been coaching and mentoring, you know, we're prepared to support more than one team if they want to go to the regionals. And Paula Perez, who's a who's a judge, also won Hult one year. And she actually went to Columbia to do research between Hult FIU and the Boston regionals, and she raised money and we supported her and all of that. So there's lots of options here. There's lots of ways to participate and keep the Hult spirit alive. And I just like to thank everybody that showed up and made this a great event today. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone. So for the final time in the 2021 competition day, I'll be sharing my screen. Next steps. If you're interested in continuing to work on your social entrepreneurial venture, there are a suite of programs here at StartUP FIU designed to support you, FIU students. To receive more information about these programs and when applications open, please follow us on Instagram at StartUP FIU. You'll be receiving an email from our team with your Hult Prize certificate, plus additional information on how to get involved in this spring semester with StartUP FIU student entrepreneurship community. Hult Prize is just one out of many social entrepreneurship competitions. There's other ones like MIT Solve and Acumen. It's like venture capital, right? There's a lot of risk, a lot of no's, but slowly and surely you start meeting an amazing network by competing in these. On that note, I have such high expectations of young people, which is why I love Hult Prize. You are a brilliant generation, one that has a higher level of environmental and social consciousness, and a generation that is not afraid to challenge the status quo, and a generation that's embracing really tough and uncomfortable conversations. You're forcing society to have them, because you all know that it's the only way that we're going to build a more equitable and sustainable future for all. So remember, success is just one step beyond failure. So keep moving forward, be resilient, and know each of you have the power to positively impact the world and people. And may this be the start of your social innovation journey. Thank you, and have a spectacular rest of your 2020. And thank you everyone who joined us on the live stream.
Thank you all.
Thank you. We're gonna be cool.
Bravo, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, the judges.
Thank you,
Thank you all the volunteers.
I would like to give a special thanks to Robert Hacker to guide me on this journey since the first day from my last competition last year. And then, you know, every day working hard and harder. And then now we got the first place. I'm so excited that we're going to go to the regionals and to the other teams that also got to the second place. Last year, we went as well to the regionals. So I would make you, I will encourage you to go. It's a really good experience, even though last year was via Zoom. That changed my life, and that's why I'm doing that again this year. Oh my gosh, I cannot even talk.
Congrats, Albertina.
Congratulations.
Good to see you
Yes.
all. Congratulations.
All right, everyone. So is there any